This is a video presentation of Global Payout Inc. It's an OTC PK stock trading on ticker GOHE. We looked at this chart a little over a month ago. At that point, actually looking at the 5-year weekly chart. At that time, we commented about the stock looking like it was going to try and break through a resistance right here around 10 cents. And that's indeed what happened. Stock made a real nice move through that resistance point all the way up to a high of 32 cents. Right now, it's forming a flag pattern as the stock is consolidated from those highs. But with a green day on Wednesday and another on Thursday, closing up 9%, stock price is now challenging this pink line, the 10-day moving average, and that's generally a sign of bullishness when the stock can move back above that moving average. And with this flag being formed, it's something to keep an eye on going forward to see if it's going to challenge this resistance at 30 cents. Now at this point, after this strong move, we're just going to see some retraces going on in indicators. See the MACD just took off with the price per share climbing, cooling off from those highs. It has to go through that. An indicator or stock prices can't go straight up forever. Has to pull back down within some normal ranges. All we look for is some higher lows to be made, continue the upward trend, try and hold over top of zero to show that the chart is maintaining bullishness. And you can see very early on, just a couple green days now, with the histogram bars starting to move back towards zero. That's about the earliest hint you can get that some of the downward pressure is starting to fade. So that's just something to pay attention to in the future. See if the histogram bars climb back into positive territory. Of course, that symbolizes a bullish cross of the 12 passing through the 26 EMA. Not a whole lot of movement in the ADX, coming down just a little bit from those highs, back down around 40, still in what's considered a trending pattern. Positive DI up on top, starting to move up again. Again, giving some very early hints that the consolidation may be coming to an end. I think this is an interesting point here with the MFI. Followers of our videos know you see a big separation like this, 7 pulling way away from the 14 and 21. Look for it to rebound. That's exactly what's happening. Back over top of 50. That says the current price is trading above these respective averages. Overall, it's a bullish sign. Accumulation distribution, kind of sideways movement going on. Yeah, a little bit of an uptrend. Ultimately, what's good to see is that there wasn't some sharp drop-off, which would represent a lot of selling from those highs. AD's is pretty much making a slow and steady uptrend, showing that there's still accumulation in this stock. It's also read from the Chaikin money flow, which is right on zero. It says that buying and selling pressure is equal over the last 20 periods. CCI bouncing right off of zero, telling me that the price is still holding above its 20-day mean. Full stow definitely shows that the momentum has come out of the play since the run to the high. What I look for there, bullish cross, reversal, back over top of 50 is where I want to see it, because through there lets you know that bullish momentum is being sustained in the play. Tricks just don't get much from that at this point. On big drop-offs or big run-ups, the tricks is a slow lagging indicator. It's really good for long-term trends because it does eliminate a lot of volatility, which you can see through here. Nice upward movement, upward channel, but coming down from the highs right now, it's going to take a while for it to catch back up. RSIs, 7 rebounding back over top of 50. Much like the other indicators, want to see them holding the upper half. The RSI is a gauge of momentum, and by being over top of 50, shows the bulls are still in charge. Now, I mentioned the flag pattern. I'll go ahead and draw that on here. This would be considered the flag pole. The consolidation is considered the flag. It's a bullish continuation pattern. There are definitive price targets that are drawn as part of a flag pattern. I'm not going to go into that. Encourage you to do a little bit of due diligence and look for breakout points and see how price targets are calculated. Just recognize the fact that there is a flag going on. This is the consolidation. What I'd look for from a support level is that bottom at 20.5 cents to hold. There's another slight support down here around 15. Actually, you can see it ties in with this 50-day moving average. But if the stock did break all the way down to there, it is losing the look of a flag at that point. And then it just really falls upon the idea of an overall uptrend and making higher lows. So just be aware of that. Typically, you don't want to see that big of a retracement as part of a flag. The pattern itself just loses some credibility if that big of a retrace goes on. So I'd be more focused on this 20.5 cent mark to hold. And what I'd look for is a push back through an initial resistance at 26. But in order for this to break out of this flag pattern, different technicians would look at it different ways. Some will say the actual breakout is at 32. Others will say 30 based upon closing prices. I would just look for resistance to start to get heavy around 30 cents and identify that breakout point at 32. That's still a pretty hefty move from closing price Thursday at 24 cents. It's a relatively thinly traded stock, 72,500 shares traded on Thursday. I'd like to see at least those levels maintained, preferably days like this where it's getting close to 200,000 shares or more, to lend some credibility to the breakout and show that this upward trend is going to try and continue. It's a nice looking chart though. It was actually a nice looking chart back here in February. Go back and watch the first video. We'll see what we saw on at that point. And now we'll just keep an eye on it from these levels to see how it performs. As always, it's merely my interpretation of the GOHE chart. Thank you for watching. Trade smart.